Success is not a coincidence, it's a decision. And that decision starts now. You don't have to wait any longer. If you've ever felt stuck, uncertain, or unsure of what to do next, this is the moment to take the next step towards something much bigger. This audiobook is not just a collection of words, it's an awakening, a call to action for you to finally take control of your life and start turning your dreams into a tangible reality. Within these words, you'll find the power of an unstoppable mindset. There are no limits, only opportunities waiting to be seized. Here, you'll learn how to discover and hone that unique talent only you possess, how to build unshakable confidence that will drive you through every challenge, and how to cultivate a positive mindset that becomes your greatest ally. You'll discover that fear, doubt, and procrastination are nothing more than shadows on your path to a bright future. But above all, you'll learn how to act like a winner. It's not just about thinking big, it's about doing it. Every decision, every step, every change you make from this moment on will bring you closer to the best version of yourself. This is not a book of theory, it's a practical map designed to challenge you, to face your fears, eliminate excuses, and take real action. Change doesn't happen overnight, but with every lesson shared here, you'll get closer to the person you've always aspired to be. It's time to leave behind your limitations, stop waiting for opportunities to come on their own, and start creating the future you desire with your own hands. This journey to your success starts now. Are you ready? Because you have everything you need to change your life. You just have to believe it and do it. And this audiobook will be your guide, your boost, and your constant reminder that the best version of you is yet to come. Stay focused on your path, even when the ground is uneven and doubts try to hold you back. Doubts are not enemies to be avoided. They are teachers that whisper difficult questions. Why do you do what you do? Who are you doing it for? Listening to those questions may seem intimidating, but it's also necessary. Because true success doesn't lie solely in what you achieve, but in the impact you have on those around you. Achieving a goal without a greater purpose behind it is like reaching the top of a mountain only to find it empty. But if, in the process, you inspire, support, and sow change in others, every step makes sense, and every stone in the path becomes part of the story you leave behind. It's the echo of your actions, the imprint you leave on others, and the inspiration you plant that defines your legacy. It's not just about reaching the summit, it's about extending your hand so others can reach it too. And that hand, many times, will be what someone else needs to keep going, because we all, at some point, needed someone to believe in us before we could do it for ourselves. True triumph is measured by the lives you change and the good you sow as you walk through this world. It's not about achieving perfection or accumulating successes that time can erase, but about cultivating values that withstand the passage of time and oblivion. Kindness, empathy, generosity, those are the triumphs that transcend. However, the path to your best self will not be easy. Growth hurts, and change, though necessary, is often frightening. There will be moments when life challenges you with obstacles that seem insurmountable. And it's in those moments that many stop, because it's more comfortable to cling to the known than to venture into the unknown. But difficulties are not punishments. They are challenges that shape your character. Every fall teaches you that getting back up is a choice. Every mistake is a lesson in disguise, an opportunity to become more aware of yourself and your limits. It's in those trials where you discover your strength, your adaptability, and above all, your will to move forward. Strength is not always shown in heroic acts. Sometimes true courage is in the small gestures, in trying again after a failure, in holding on to hope when everything seems lost, in admitting that you need help. Don't deceive yourself by seeking shortcuts or making excuses through procrastination or comfort. Comfort is a trap disguised as temporary relief, and shortcuts rarely lead to lasting destinations. Breaking bad habits is non-negotiable if you truly want to grow, because growth is not an isolated event, but a constant process. Honesty with yourself is your compass. Acknowledging your flaws and areas for improvement is an act of bravery that propels you toward real change. But acknowledgement is not enough. You must be willing to do something about it. The key to staying on that path is your mindset. It's not what happens to you that defines your life, but how you choose to interpret it. The thoughts you nourish determine the life you create. If you view the world through the lens of limitations, you'll be building barriers that only exist in your mind. Most of the time, The limits we think we have are reflections of the stories we've told ourselves over the years. Stories that sometimes don't even belong to us. But if you choose to focus on the possibilities, on what you can achieve, you'll find that opportunities appear when you're ready to see them. Believing in yourself is the first step to transforming your reality. And believing in yourself doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or weaknesses. It means accepting them as part of you, as necessary pieces to build something greater. Changing your internal narrative from "I can't" to "I'll try" opens the door to a world of possibilities, because the simple act of trying is already a triumph in itself. Every attempt is a seed planted, and each seed has the potential to bloom into something extraordinary. There is no success worth having if it's not accompanied by purpose. And that purpose, many times, is found in the small, everyday acts. In the conversations you have, in the decisions you make when no one is watching. Chase your goals, but do it with the intention of leaving a positive impact that transcends your life. Because when everything else fades away, the money, the titles, the achievements, what will remain is how you made others feel. Inspire, help, guide others to find their own path. When your success lifts those who come after you, you will have achieved something much greater than your own accomplishments. You will be the reflection of what it means to triumph with purpose. And that, at the end of the day, is the most powerful legacy you can leave. Stop hiding behind excuses that only keep you trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction and empty promises. Because, if we're being honest, excuses are nothing more than temporary patches to relieve the weight of guilt you feel for not moving forward. At some point, you'll look at yourself in the mirror and feel exhausted from how many times you've told yourself, "Tomorrow will be different," without following through. That exhaustion is not just physical, it's an emotional drain that gradually steals your self-confidence. That feeling of frustration isn't exclusive to you. Many feel trapped in the same cycle. But here's the truth, simple yet hard to accept. No one can break that cycle for you. You might wait for someone to give you the perfect words to motivate you, for an external circumstance to be powerful enough to propel you to change. But that waiting is in vain. Neither criticism, nor the expectations of others, nor even the talent within you will be enough if you don't decide to stop justifying your mistakes. Because what truly holds you back is not a lack of ability, but a lack of decision. Change begins the moment you stop waiting and start acting, even if it's with small steps, even if you don't have all the answers. Your limiting beliefs didn't appear overnight. They are the result of years of absorbing ideas, comments, and experiences that shape the way you see yourself. And many of those ideas aren't even yours. How many times have you caught yourself repeating phrases you heard from others without questioning them? Over time, those thoughts become habits, and those habits turn into actions, or worse, inactions. And so, without realizing it, you start procrastinating, comparing yourself to others, lying to yourself about your capabilities, and doubting every step you take. And the most dangerous part of all this is that you begin to believe your own excuses and justify them as absolute truths. The "I can't" becomes a silent mantra that guides your decisions, without you even realizing that it's you who is holding back your own progress. But here's something you know, even if you'd rather ignore it. Those excuses are just lies you tell yourself to avoid the challenge of proving that you are capable. And the lies you tell yourself are the hardest to dismantle because they're disguised as logic, as caution, as realism. Because deep down, you recognize your potential. You know what you're capable of. You've felt it in those sparks of inspiration, in those moments when you achieved something you thought was impossible. But fear of failing, of not being enough, of disappointing yourself, makes you step back every time you have the opportunity to move forward. Fear whispers to you that it's better not to try than to fail. But what it doesn't tell you is that by not trying, you are already failing. The comfort of excuses becomes a prison that you've built for yourself, blocking the path to your true growth. And the curious thing is that this prison doesn't have a lock. The door has always been open. But leaving it requires courage, because it means facing the world without the shield of justifications. It means admitting that, while fear is still there, it won't have the final say. Real change begins when you accept that you don't always make the best decisions, that sometimes you fail, sometimes you make mistakes, and that's okay. Being human means making mistakes, but it also means learning, correcting course, and moving on. What you can't keep doing is allowing the fear of failure to paralyze you. If you only focus on the problems and what could go wrong, you'll never see the opportunities waiting for you. Yes, you'll fail sometimes. It's inevitable. But you will also succeed. And those victories, even if small, are what you must celebrate. Because every small victory is a reminder that change is possible. Progress isn't always grand or spectacular. Sometimes it's subtle, almost imperceptible. But it's there. The problem is, we often focus more on what we haven't achieved than on what we have. We become our harshest judges, ignoring that every step forward, no matter how small, deserves to be recognized. Because every step is an act of resistance against the inertia of excuses. It's time to rewrite your narrative. Instead of focusing on what you can't control, focus on what's within your reach. Because there's always something you can do. There's always an action that depends on you. Welcome each small victory and turn it into the fuel you need to keep going. Life won't be perfect, and difficult moments will come. But there will always be better days if you decide to keep the door open to the positive. Showing the world who you truly are requires courage, but it's also an act of liberation. It's letting go of the masks you wear to fit in or protect yourself and embracing your authenticity with your lights and your shadows. Being brave doesn't mean not being afraid. It means acting despite the fear. You have two options. Keep justifying why you can't, or prove that you've always been capable. And that decision, though it may seem complicated, isn't made once and for all. It's made every day, in every small challenge, in every moment when fear tries to stop you. What version of yourself do you choose today? Fear is a shadow you project onto problems, turning them into giants that seem impossible to face. But if you stop and observe calmly, you'll realize that those giants are not as invincible as they appear. Fear, in fact, is an illusion that grows in your mind every time you choose to avoid a challenge instead of facing it. It's like a seed you plant unintentionally, and when watered with doubts and insecurities, it becomes a weed that blocks your view of the path ahead. It's not the obstacles that stop you, it's your inability to face them head on, recognize them, and move forward. The problem is that the shadow of fear doesn't disappear on its own. The more you avoid it, the bigger it gets. It's that resistance to leaving your comfort zone that keeps you stuck and moves you further from the success you wish to achieve. But what we often overlook is that the comfort zone, although it seems safe, is a place of stagnation in disguise. Staying there may give you a temporary sense of control, but in the long run, it robs you of something much more valuable: the possibility of discovering who you could become when you decide to move forward despite the fear. There will come a point in your life when you'll have to make a crucial decision: face your fears and see how far you can go, or give up and stay exactly where you are. That decision, although it may seem simple in theory, defines your path. Choosing the first option is an act of bravery, a silent cry to the world and to yourself that you are ready to grow, to embrace the unknown, and to evolve. Because growth is not just about moving forward. It's about facing your own limitations, breaking the invisible chains that bind you, and daring to imagine a different future. It's not easy. No one said it would be. But every step you take out of your comfort zone is a victory in itself. Why? Because you're getting closer to a version of yourself that isn't defined by fear. If you sit and wait for fear to disappear on its own, you'll never succeed. Fear doesn't disappear. It transforms into action. Every time you take a step forward, fear loses strength. You'll let the days pass and the opportunities fade, and you will have lost even before you started. Not because you lack the ability, but because you allowed fear to decide for you. Change happens when you take action. Even if there's the slightest possibility that something could help you grow, you must pursue it. And here's the key: acting, even with fear, is better than staying still, paralyzed by uncertainty. That uncertainty you fear so much is not an enemy. It's an invitation to explore unknown territories, to discover abilities you didn't even know you had. The difference between those who move forward and those who stay behind is that the former don't let fear dictate their decisions. They understand that fear is not an obstacle to avoid, but a sign that you are about to step out of the familiar and into something new. Yes, sometimes you will fail, and yes, it will hurt. But failure doesn't define you. It teaches you. Every fall is a lesson in disguise, an opportunity to learn what paths not to take next time. But more importantly, it teaches you that you are stronger than you thought. Every time you get up after falling, you prove that failure doesn't have the final word. It's a fundamental part of growth. The most successful people you admire didn't get to where they are without stumbling. What sets them apart is their ability to get up, brush off the dust, and keep going. Because deep down, failure only defeats those who give up. Even the most successful companies seek out people who have failed at some point, because they know that those who have encountered failure and learned from it are stronger, wiser, and more resilient. True experience is not measured solely by accumulated successes, but by how you recover after falling, how you turn mistakes into learning and defeats into motivation to keep trying. The key is not to avoid failure, but to learn how to manage it, because every failure carries a gift, the possibility of reinventing yourself and doing better next time. Embrace everything that life brings, the good days you celebrate and the tough days that challenge you. Everything has a purpose, even if you don't immediately understand it. Sometimes the purpose of a stumble is to teach you to walk with more firmness. Sometimes a path that seemed right takes you to an unexpected yet valuable destination. Every step, every victory, and every stumble is part of a plan that God has laid out for you. But here's something important. That plan is not rigid or unchangeable. God gives you the tools, but it's up to you to decide to use them. Faith is not just believing that things will turn out well. It's acting with the confidence that no matter what happens, you will learn and emerge stronger. When you understand this, when you trust that there is a greater purpose, you find the strength to get up every morning with faith and determination. And that faith is not passive, it's active. It's getting up and doing your part, knowing that every action counts. The plan God has for you is divine, but it requires that you believe in yourself and make the necessary decisions to move forward, because life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who act. Opportunities are there, but they are only revealed to those who are willing to change. Don't wait to feel ready or prepared. Preparation comes along the way, not before you start. If you refuse to transform your mindset, if you allow fear to continue dominating your decisions, you'll never see what the world has in store for you. But if you decide to act, if you choose to face your fears and move forward despite them, you'll discover that everything you've always been looking for was waiting just on the other side of fear. Fear is a guardian at the gates of change. It's not there to stop you, it's there to test how much you really want to move forward. Life doesn't wait for those who doubt. It's time to act. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that separates you from the life you want is a decision. Are you ready to take that step? The danger of staying stuck doesn't lie in big failures, but in the silent paralysis that settles into your life when you lose your direction. That feeling of being mentally paralyzed doesn't come all at once. At first, it's imperceptible. You think everything is fine because routine offers you a false sense of security. You convince yourself that everything is under control just because things seem stable. But without realizing it, you begin to lose that inner spark that once pushed you to dream, to create, to seek more. It's a slow and dangerous process. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. And one day you wake up feeling an emptiness you can't ignore. The inevitable question hits you. What happened to everything I wanted to achieve? The answer is simple but painful. You got stuck in the comfort zone. Comfort is a subtle trap. At first, it seems like a refuge, but staying there too long transforms procrastination into a habit and mediocrity into a lifestyle. The most dangerous thing about this inertia is that you rarely detect it in time. It numbs you, makes you believe you're fine, when in reality, you're letting your dreams slowly fade away. And if you don't make a conscious effort to break that cycle, you'll find yourself trapped in a downward spiral that moves you further away from your goals. Getting out of that trap requires something very concrete: vision. You need clarity about where you're heading and why. Having a broad and clear vision helps you chart a purposeful path. When you know what your goal is, your decisions stop being impulsive and start being intentional. You stop reacting and begin to act with purpose. That's what makes the difference between those who move forward and those who remain stuck in mediocrity. Happiness doesn't come from immediate achievements or fleeting small successes. It comes from the meaning you find in the journey toward your dreams. Why do you do what you do? What motivates you to keep going? Having clear answers to these questions gives you the strength to continue, even when results don't come immediately or when obstacles seem insurmountable. But here's a key point you can't ignore. The people you surround yourself with directly influence your success or stagnation. If you're the smartest person in your group, you're in the wrong group. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who push you to be better. Complacency is a silent enemy. Being around people who don't question your decisions, who don't motivate you to improve, is a surefire recipe for mediocrity. True growth happens when you're in an environment that challenges you to think beyond the obvious. When you're surrounded by people who inspire you to raise your standards, something inside you changes. You realize that there's so much more to discover, so much more to learn. The people around you should reflect what you aspire to be, not be an excuse for staying where you are. Remember this: the lack of action also affects how others perceive you. Laziness and procrastination don't only affect you. Over time, they erode the trust others have in your abilities. Being reliable is much more powerful than it seems. Reliability is an underrated trait, but it's the foundation upon which strong relationships, successful projects, and fulfilled dreams are built. When you constantly delay your commitments, when you do things halfway or look for the easy way out, you lose something very valuable: credibility. And without credibility, opportunities begin to vanish. No one wants to trust someone who doesn't follow through on their promises, who always has an excuse for not giving their best effort. Trust isn't bought or demanded, it's earned through consistent actions. So, make a pact with yourself. Face every task with all your attention and energy. It doesn't matter if it's a small task or a big project. Do it with enthusiasm, with the desire to do it well, because when you act with mediocrity, the results will always be mediocre. But when you put your whole being into what you do, you become someone who inspires respect, both in others and in yourself. And don't fear failure. Failure is not the end of the road. It's an essential part of the process. Did you know that 85% of small businesses in the United States fail within the first 2 years? It may seem like a discouraging statistic, but there's an important lesson behind it. Despite failures, people keep trying. The economy keeps growing because people don't stop starting businesses, creating and betting on their dreams. Failure doesn't stop those with a clear vision. And you know what? Failure is an invaluable teacher. It's not a punishment, it's an opportunity to learn. Every stumble teaches you something new. It shows you which paths to avoid, which decisions to make next time. The most successful people aren't successful because they never failed, but because they learned to rise after every fall. They understood that every failure is an opportunity to reinvent yourself and improve. Choose to step out of your comfort zone. Choose to surround yourself with people who challenge and inspire you. Choose to do things well, with all your being, without looking for shortcuts. And above all, choose to always keep a clear vision of your life and dreams. Because when you see the bigger picture, you realize that failures aren't endings. They're stepping stones that bring you closer to that life you've always wanted to build. The key is to move forward. It doesn't matter how many times you fall, what matters is getting back up. Every step counts. Every decision adds up. And if you keep your eyes on the horizon, if you dare to move forward even when things get tough, you'll discover that the dreams that once seemed far away are much closer than you imagined. Life doesn't wait for those paralyzed by fear or doubt. Life rewards those who act with intention, with courage, with purpose. So ask yourself, are you ready to break free from inertia and take that step? Personal growth is a continuous journey, not a destination that can be reached once and for all. In this process, change, action, and commitment are essential. It's not enough to make vague wishes or set unclear aspirations. True progress comes when you create a clear strategy, a detailed execution plan that turns your dreams into concrete actions. Many fall into the trap of telling themselves they want something, but few stop to think about the exact steps to get there. How do you move toward your goals if you don't know exactly what to do? Every step toward success requires deep reflection on what needs to be adopted and, crucially, what needs to be left behind. Knowing your personal action plan is an act of self-understanding. It's about understanding what motivates you, what blocks you, and what truly moves you in life. But the first step is to look in the mirror honestly and accept both your strengths and your weaknesses. Why is this act of reflection so important? Because it's only by recognizing your shortcomings that you can begin to consciously work on them. Self-knowledge gives you a solid foundation for your evolution, that ability to transform not only your skills, but also your mindset. Only by recognizing your strengths can you use them with confidence to inspire others and create a positive impact. True authenticity doesn't come from perfection, but from recognizing and accepting the self in its entirety. Both what you are and what you are willing to become. This self-awareness leads you to project yourself authentically into the world. It's not about building a facade, but about embracing your uniqueness. Being authentic is not an act of rebellion or defiance toward others, but a manifestation of inner confidence, a reminder that, as you are, you already have something valuable to offer. Imagine a comedian connecting with their audience or a salesperson who understands their clients' needs. Both master their crafts not because they are perfect, but because they understand the power of being genuine in what they do. You can apply this principle to your life too, by identifying and perfecting the qualities that make you unique until they speak for themselves. You don't need to be perfect to shine. What you need is to be yourself, with a constant will to improve and evolve. That authenticity is the true magnetism that attracts the right people to your life. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, who share your vision and challenge you. The influence of your environment is much more powerful than we believe. The people who truly push you are those who not only have the desire to grow, but are also willing to share that drive with you, challenging you to be better, to go beyond your limits. It's not about surrounding yourself with people who constantly praise you, but with those who push you to see beyond what you imagine. These people see your value because they share a common purpose that transcends the individual. Together, they celebrate both small and large achievements because they understand that the journey is as valuable as the final destination. They are travel companions, not mere observers, and more importantly, they are willing to grow with you. It is in these types of relationships where the true power of growth lies. The environment you create around you is the key to your success. If you choose to surround yourself with people who don't challenge or inspire you, you risk falling into complacency, into mediocrity. But when you surround yourself with like-minded people, with restless minds focused on achievement, you begin to expand your horizons significantly. This reciprocity and growth is a spark that ignites new opportunities in your life. Because when those around you believe in you, your own faith in yourself grows, and that confidence becomes the springboard to your dreams. Remember that change begins from within. Mindset is the key that opens all doors. Change doesn't happen superficially, but in the depths of your thinking. When you cultivate a mindset focused on solutions, on growth, and not on limitations, your reality begins to transform. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but facing them with the certainty that every obstacle is, ultimately, an opportunity in disguise. Every difficulty you face is a stone in the road that prepares you for the next step. Moreover, when those around you are also growing with you, a virtuous circle of motivation, energy, and shared accomplishments is created that amplifies your ability to move forward. However, it's not all about mindset and vision. The small details matter too, and they are powerful signals of who you are. Punctuality, for example, may seem insignificant, but it's a clear demonstration of your respect for others and your commitment to your own goals. Being on time, fulfilling your commitments, respecting others' time are acts of integrity that say a lot about you. Integrity is one of the foundational pillars upon which trust is built. And trust is the foundation on which the strongest and most fruitful relationships are built. When you are reliable, when your word and actions align, you open doors that would otherwise remain closed. People want to work, collaborate, and dream with someone they can trust, someone who is consistent, committed, and authentic. The journey to fully maximizing your talent is an ongoing process of self-discovery, discipline, and meaningful relationships. It's not about a sudden change, nor an abrupt transition to success. It's a daily construction, where every small step, every conscious action, adds up to bring you closer to that idealized version of yourself. Learn to know yourself, to surround yourself with people who contribute positively to your life, and maintain an attitude of constant improvement. Because in the end, growth is a daily choice, and change is the bridge that will lead you to your best version. The path to success is not traced from a single talent or skill, but by the constant ability to diversify and expand your capabilities. Success does not come by chance or from simply using an isolated gift. It arrives when you integrate various skills and competencies, creating a solid network that opens new doors. As you develop new skills, you not only open yourself to unexpected opportunities, but also connect with key people who can propel you to heights you hadn't imagined. Life, like success, is not based on what you've already achieved, but on what you can still become. The best versions of ourselves do not arise from the limits we impose on ourselves, but from the courage to challenge them and explore unexplored territories. The world's great leaders are not those who settle for what they know. They are the ones who see every circumstance as an opportunity to grow, learn, and improve. True leadership is not measured by the position you hold, but by the constant desire to be better and to help others do the same. Your past should not be defined as a limitation, but as a springboard to the future. The past is a collection of experiences that have shaped you, but they are not chains that bind you. They are lessons that propel you to your next step. Every moment lived, both successes and failures, is a teaching that prepares you to move forward. Don't let yourself get trapped in nostalgia or in the shadows of what you were. What truly matters is where everything you've learned will take you. The key is to look forward, because every past chapter of your life is a brick in the construction of your future. Evolution is constant, and you cannot let what you've been define what you will be. No talent, no matter how small, is redundant. Every skill you possess has the potential to be perfected, expanded, and adapted to new circumstances. It's easy to underestimate our abilities, to think they aren't important enough, but the truth is that every skill is a valuable resource that, when cultivated, can open new doors. Take a moment to reflect on what you already know how to do. Make a list of all those skills, from the most technical to the interpersonal, and see how you can keep expanding them. Self-awareness is the foundation for growth. Recognizing your own potential is the first step to maximizing it. Don't place limits on your mind. True growth happens when you are bold, when you dare to think big and take that step outside of the familiar. Change happens outside the comfort zone, in the unknown. There is nothing to lose, only to gain a brighter future full of possibilities. Steve Harvey reminds us that everything we need to achieve our goals is already aligned on our path. This reminder is crucial because we often look outside ourselves for what is already within our reach. The right people are out there. We just need to learn to let go of the wrong ones, those who do not contribute to our growth. Life is not a game of chance. It's about making strategic decisions, carefully selecting our relationships, and recognizing that every person who enters your life has the potential to be a key piece in your evolution. Every relationship is a learning opportunity. Make sure those opportunities take you to where you truly want to go. Part of that growth process is learning to say no. This no is a powerful tool that allows us to protect our time, energy, and focus. Saying no is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. Indecision, fear of rejection, or social pressure can lead us to do things that don't resonate with our purpose or aren't aligned with our values. Saying no is an act of self-care, a reminder that you can only do what truly aligns with you. These kinds of decisions aren't always easy, but they are essential to maintain your integrity and keep your focus clear. Stand firm in what you believe, even when not everyone understands it, because that's the essence of being true to yourself. It's that kind of firmness that will allow you to move forward with clarity and without distractions. Refusing to participate in certain paths is not an indication of incapacity. On the contrary, it's an act of wisdom. It's recognizing that you can't do everything, but that doesn't make you less capable. It simply makes you more focused. The power of saying no lies in the fact that, by doing so, you focus on what truly matters. Unnecessary competition only takes you away from your purpose, while maintaining healthy rivalries allows you to grow without losing your integrity. True competition is not against others, but against the previous version of yourself. Recognizing your own limits and priorities is a sign of self-awareness and clarity. Success is not an individual achievement, but a gift that benefits those around you. When you achieve your own goals and are genuinely happy, that energy expands to those around you, creating a virtuous circle of shared growth. Your well-being becomes a catalyst for those around you to thrive as well. In this journey, you not only become a better version of yourself, but an inspiration to others. Personal success should never be viewed as a selfish end, but as a way to contribute to the common good. Every achievement you reach has the power to spark ambition in others. What you need is to look inside, recognize your own value, and believe with all your being in your ability to do good and achieve your dreams. Self-confidence is an act of bravery. Stay true to yourself, and you will see how your life fills with satisfaction and opportunities to positively impact the world. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the recognition of your own power and the determination to keep moving forward. With every step you take, you inspire others to take theirs, creating a legacy of growth and transformation. The way you see yourself can be the deciding factor between moving forward and staying stuck. Self-concept is a powerful force that shapes our lives, not only on the external plane, but deeply within ourselves. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you focus on your weaknesses, or do you recognize your strengths? These questions are crucial because they form the foundation upon which you will build your growth. The perspective with which you observe yourself determines the actions you'll take and the decisions you'll make. If you limit yourself to examining only your failures, you are likely to lose sight of the path to success. But if you take the time to look beyond those limitations, you will discover that they are merely stepping stones toward your greatness. Failures do not define who you are, but how you choose to rise from them. Your story is not defined by your stumbles, but by your ability to get up and keep moving forward. Every fall is just an invitation to grow and learn something new about yourself. The true secret to success lies in an unwavering belief in yourself. Self-confidence is the first step toward achieving any goal, the fuel that drives you to keep going when others might give up. Once you allow yourself to believe in your own potential, maximizing your talents becomes natural. Growth is not a coincidence. It is a daily decision, a constant commitment to personal improvement. It is an attitude, a commitment to continuous evolution. Eliminating doubts and negativity from your mind is the first step in releasing the power that already resides within you. A mind filled with doubts creates invisible barriers, but a mind filled with confidence tears down walls. Winners don't stop when the road gets tough. On the contrary, they dive into adversity and become stronger. It's these difficult moments that forge a positive mindset, that resolute attitude that distinguishes the successful from those who give up. Resilience is not a characteristic. It's a decision made in every challenge we face. A positive mind not only teaches you to persevere, but also equips you with honesty, reliability, and respect for time. Without these fundamental values, achieving your goals will be a much harder task. Integrity, reliability, and time management are not just habits. They are principles that form the foundation of sustainable success. Furthermore, the people around you play a crucial role in your progress. The environment acts as a mirror that reflects your own growth. If you surround yourself with individuals who have no dreams, ambitions, or desire to grow, your vision will be limited. You will be unable to see beyond your own limitation. On the other hand, if you are part of a circle of people with aspirations, people who strive to create, build, and innovate, the path to success becomes much clearer. Relationships directly influence our ability to dream, to keep an open vision, and to see beyond barriers. Being close to this type of person drives you to think more broadly, capture new ideas, and continue learning, which brings you closer to the realization of your dreams. The exchange of ideas, collaboration, and collective creativity are accelerators of success. Don't underestimate the power of your environment. Often, the quality of the relationships you cultivate is the direct reflection of the quality of the achievements you will reach. Your environment not only surrounds you, but constantly shapes you. To begin this journey toward success, do yourself a favor and reflect on the excuses you continuously tell yourself when procrastinating. Procrastination is a shadow that feeds on your fears and doubts. Take a list of those excuses and start to get rid of them. Those excuses are just limiting beliefs disguised as justifications. The key is to commit unwaveringly to your future by taking concrete steps toward your goals. Procrastination only moves you further away from what you truly desire, while constant action brings you closer to that goal. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. The difference between success and failure lies in your ability to take control of your decisions, act with determination, and move forward, no matter the difficulties. Every action, no matter how small, is a victory toward your purpose. Remember, the path to success is a series of small but firm steps that bring you closer and closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Success is not a distant destination, it is a daily process, a journey of self-discovery and constant self-improvement. Every firm step, even though it may seem small at the moment, brings you closer to the place where you've always dreamed of being. The true essence of success lies in perseverance and the will to continue, regardless of the obstacles. Thank you for joining me until the end of this journey. You have taken a crucial step toward discovering your true potential. toward a deep understanding of what you truly need to build the life you desire. Every word you heard today is designed to empower you, to remind you that change is not only possible but inevitable when you take control of your destiny. Remember that success is an ongoing process, not a final destination. Now that you have the keys, the action is up to you. If what you've heard has touched something inside you, if you feel that this message could be the spark that ignites real change in your life, I invite you to give a like, not only to support me, but also so that the universe reminds you that you are committed to your evolution. Subscribe to continue receiving content that will nourish your mind and help you stay focused on your goals. And if you believe someone else could benefit from this message, don't hesitate to share it, because the path to success is not walked alone. We are here to grow together. Thank you for your time, your commitment, and your openness to change. This is just the beginning. Keep your mind open, keep moving forward, and never stop evolving. I'll see you in the next chapter of this transformation.